bad for you.
Have you ever been to Cairo?
No.
Cairo's nuts.
Yeah.
It's the craziest city I've ever been in.
I want to go. When you went to the pyramids, when was it? How long ago?
Oh my gosh, it was crazy. It was right after the revolution. So we went in 2000. When was the Arab Spring?
That was internet times.
It was
2011?
12, I want to say. 2011, 2012.
What's that? 2010, Arab Spring?
So it must have been 2011.
That was one of the first revolutions that the internet was credited with starting.
Yeah, and no one was there. So everyone was like, why the fuck are you guys in Egypt? We got basically a private tour of the whole country. Like there was we were on a cruise on the Nile and it was supposed to be, hundreds of people. There were 14 people on the cruise. And we got to see, there's usually lines to go into the Great Pyramids. There were no lines to see King Tut. Nothing. No one was anywhere. It was a weird time to be in Egypt. And I went to Alexandria, was in Cairo, went and did like a Nile cruise, which was amazing. I mean, Egypt's, you got to go.
Yeah,
it's
I
amazing.
Definitely do. Did you get this weird feeling that like, how did this go away?
Yeah, that's what I don't understand. And I think I had like a mental breakdown when I was there. Like a weird, we were in the hospital, not the hospital. I felt like I should get checked into a hospital. We were staying in like the Nile across from all the tombs, the like king's tombs. And I kept feeling this like pulse, and I had like a panic attack when I was there, basically. It was the weirdest thing, though. I kept feeling this pulse. It was like, womp, womp.
Was this when you were doing drugs?
No. I mean, I was drinking still, but I wasn't doing drugs. And I was like, I'm going to have I thought I was going to end up in a straitjacket. And I thought I had like a panic attack. I had like these crazy dreams, and I was like, oh, this is where it all started for like my whatever. It was it's weird.
So
it's a weird energy.
Do you think you were getting this feeling like you said, like here, it's in the soil. There's something in the soil here, like this fierce independence because these people are tough and they survived making it across the Great Plains and all that shit. Do you think you felt that there? Like this is the feeling of this civilization that used to exist in this place?
Yeah, it felt to me... I feel like I had like a past life regression, if that's even a thing. It was like I felt like whatever journey I've been on this planet, it started there, and I went back to the source, and it was like a weird, like my dreams were crazy. Thank God the guy I was with was like nice and kind, but I couldn't, it was like a full-blown panic attack. I couldn't even leave the hotel room. And
do you think that's just because of being in Egypt?
It was just being in Egypt.
Do you think it's because of you knew what the civilization was like and it had declined and gone and now you're there and you're just like psychologically dealing with this and you're kind of freaking out and putting it on yourself?
So I've always been obsessed with Egypt since I was a little kid, just unnaturally obsessed with it. It was like I read every book about it when I was a kid. I wanted to go there. I don't know why. And I felt like, I like to believe in past lives because I think it's amusing. I'm like, if I can choose, it sounds like it's like, right. Why not? And I've always felt very connected to it. And so when I went there and was across from, we were in the King Farouk suite, actually, and it had a balcony that overlooked the Nile and the tombs. And I could feel, it was like something in my heart, like a vibration. And they've said that these places, like where there are these pyramids, they can have vibrations. I learned this later, but this was like a weird, like, it kept hitting my heart. And then I thought they drugged me. I thought they gave me something in my hibiscus tea because I started like, I drank the hibiscus tea and I was like, maybe they put some kind of like hallucinogen in it. But I think I think about this a lot because I've had friends who have had anxiety and panic attacks, and I know what it's like to like get in your head and feel like you're losing your mind. And I had to baby step my way out of this like panic attack where I couldn't eat. I was unable to keep food down. I just took a bath and was like, I'm going to just chew.
And that's never happened to you before?
No, I've had anxiety. I feel for people who have anxiety. I had anxiety before, but it was when I was smoking a lot of weed and doing a lot of drugs, and I was in a marriage I didn't want to be in to my first husband.
So your life was a mess.
And I just was lying to myself. Like I think depression and anxiety can be very useful signposts for something in your life. You're either doing something you shouldn't be doing, or you're not doing something you should be doing.
You got to course correct.
Yeah.
It's giving you motivation.
It's saying like there's something. It's like a soul calling for you to check in. So yoga kind of saved me from that time. I got divorced. It somewhat went away. I've talked about my hypochondria, so that I dealt with that. But then this was different. It was like a weird, my body physiologically reacted to it too. So I like, not to be too much information, but I like randomly got a period out of nowhere. It was just weird. My body started like, I threw up, I got a period all at once. And it was it's the most supernatural thing that's ever happened to me. Well, there was another time that was really supernatural when I was in Newport, Rhode Island, and I swear there was like a haunting. But other than that, it felt supernatural. Like it didn't feel normal, and it took me 2 full days to like, whatever hit me in my heart on that balcony, and I couldn't, like, all I could hear was this like want, and it was reverberating from the, I sound like a crazy person, but it was reverberating from the tombs. And then I remember eating a grape so slowly and mindfully just to like come back into my body. And I had these like crazy dreams, and I felt like I saw all these connections to like people in my life present. And it was weird. It was in that moment when I like had a physical reaction where it was like a scene from a movie where it was like zap, 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 like all these people in my life. And the guy I was with, thank God, he could have been a total asshole and been like, you're a fucking psycho, I'm leaving you. But he had a weird experience with me in his guest house in New Zealand, where I would fall asleep sometimes downstairs or we'd pass out or whatever. And I was like, did you have a dog? Because I was like convinced there was a ghost, because I kept feeling some weird sense. And he's like, don't talk about the dog. And then it turns out there was like a dog. And his kids, like, he had it and then wanted to get rid of it. And it's like this sore thing. He's like, how the fuck did you know it's a dog? And I was like, oh, because the energy was like a puppy energy. And I was like, what happened to the dog? He's like, nothing. Don't ever talk about the dog. And I was like, okay. So he's like, you're weird and psychic and like a weird you have like a weird thing. He was like, you're touched by something. Like, and we used to play backgammon all the time. And one time I like rolled a dice, and I'm sure it was just lint, but I wanted to win so badly. And then the dice just was on his corner, just frozen. So he had weird, like just on the tip of it, just like he's like, what the fuck? You're a witch. So he had slightly unsettling things with me, that enough that I think he was like, all right, maybe she's not totally.
Well, they say that places